AlyssaShea and welcome to my channel. Today I filmed a simple, smoky eye look perfect for Valentine's Day using the Tartelette in Bloom palette by Tarte. So if you're interested in how I got this smoky, sexy look for Valentine's Day, then just keep watching. To start off this look, I'm going to prime my eyes with the Wet n Wild concealer, and I'm just going to apply this to my eyelids and blend it out. Now that my eyelids are primed, I'm going to go into the Tartelette in Bloom palette into the shade Charmer, and I'm just going to set the primer down so that all of the other shadows blend seamlessly on top. And this will prevent creasing throughout the night. Next, going into the shade Sweetheart on a fluffy blending brush, I'm going to work this into the crease. Using windshield wiper motions and back and forth motions just to really, to get the product dispersed all over the crease. Next, on a more dense crease brush, I'm going to go into the shade Rebel and put that more directly into the crease rather than all over. So it's just going to go a little bit down farther. And this is going to begin the gradient effect. We want all the shadows to blend seamlessly together from dark to light in this look specifically. And it's okay if you get shadow all over your face because we're just going to clean it up later. Then going back into the fluffy crease brush we used prior, I'm just going to blend the two together with no additional product on it, just so that there are no harsh lines and everything just blends seamlessly together. Next, on a fluffy flat shader brush, I'm going to go into the shade Leader, which is like the darker red in the palette, and I'm going to apply this to my lids, and this is going to really intensify the gradient effect, and it just looks really like smoky, sexy, and really pretty, and it's just a really simple look that I go for when I just don't know what to do with my eyeshadow for the night. And I think this is perfect for Valentine's Day. It's just really simple, smoky, and sexy. So I'm just packing that on. You can go as dark as you like, as light as you like. And I know it looks really crazy right now, but it'll all come together. Then I'm going to go in with a more precise, fluffy blending brush into the shade Rebel and just work this into the crease to just blend everything together. Then going in with the fluffy brush in the shade Sweetheart, I'm just going to blend out the edges a little bit further. Then moving on to the brow bone highlight, I'm just going to go back into the shade Charmer that we set the primer with and just run this underneath my brow bone just to bring some light to the area and lift up my eyes so that they look a little bit more awake. Moving on to the face, I'm going to prime my skin with the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot primer, and I'm just going to target this right in my T-zone where I have more pores that I want to minimize. So I'm just going to rub it, pat it, and just make sure it's all smooth for foundation. Then today I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation in the shade 203 Nude Beige. This is more of a foundation for someone with dry skin, and I have oily skin, but I still love it, even though it does make me look greasy if I wear it all day long. But since this is just a Valentine's Day look, and I won't be wearing makeup for long, I can get away with it. So I'm gonna use it. And it just makes my skin look really good, really healthy, and it blends out really, really nice. So I'm just gonna take my damp beauty blender and blend it out. Next for concealer, I'm going into the Sephora Bright Future corrector in the shade Peach. And I'm just going to put this on the inner part of my eye to help cancel out darkness and discoloration under there. And then I'm going to go back in with the Wet n Wild concealer I used to prime my eyes and just put that underneath. And when I blend it out with my damp beauty blender, I'm going to clean up the edges of my eyeshadow to make it more crisp and more put together. Concealer, I'm going with the NYC Loose Powder in the shade Translucent and just pressing this underneath the eyes so that concealer does not move throughout the night. To set the rest of my face, I'm going into the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Powder in the shade 20 Classic Ivory. I'm just going to pat this on the rest of my face. Next for bronzer and contour, I'm going into Nars Laguna on a large Wet n Wild stippling brush, and I'm just going to apply this to the perimeters of my face just to bring back some more color and definition. deepen up the contour a little bit, I'm going to go into an angled Wet n Wild brush and just put that directly in the hollows of my cheeks. And I'm just going to blend it upward in circular motions. Then going back in with the same fluffy brush I used to apply my powder, I'm just going to blend the two together so that there are no harsh lines. For blush, I'm going into the Kat Von D Shade and Light blush in the shade Piaf and Poe. And I'm going to take a Wet n Wild blush brush and just focus on the darker side and apply it in circular motions to my cheeks. Nars Hot Sand, which is in the same duo as Laguna, and I'm going to take a Smashbox fan brush and apply this to the tops of my cheekbones. Into the shade Sweetheart on a fluffy pointier brush. I don't know what to call this. I'm going to run this on my lower lash line. Then taking this side of the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that comes in the Modern Renaissance palette, I'm going to take the shade Rebel and just apply this more precisely and directly on the lash line just to smoke it out and match the top to the bottom. Then I'm going to go into Leader and do the same thing. Then going back into Sweetheart with that same brush, I'm just going to smoke everything out a little bit further and just blend everything together. And taking an angled liner brush from Wet n Wild, I'm going to wet it with some setting spray, and I'm going to go into the shade Activist, which is a really dark brown, and I'm going to apply it to my upper lash line. Take the shade Charmer and highlight my inner corner just to make the eyes look a little bit more open and awake. Then just doing one final blend with Sweetheart just so that everything looks seamless. And I'm just going to take a little bit more of Rebel just to deepen it up. I'm going to take another fluffy crease brush with no product on it and blend it all together. The key to a look like this is to just keep blending and blending and blending. You can never blend too much, just to make sure everything looks good. And I just went ahead and did my brows off camera. I filled them in with the ColourPop brow pencil in the shade Dope Taupe, and then I set them with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper in the shade Medium to Dark. To finish off the eyes, I'm going to curl my lashes and use the Tarte Tartiest, whatever you kind of pronounce it, mascara, and the Too Faced Brave and Sex mascara. And then for the bottom lashes, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. To finish off the face, this I think is the most important part in makeup application, just so that your makeup doesn't look too cakey and it stays throughout the day. I'm going to take the Urban Decay setting spray, the All Nighter one, and I'm just going to spray it on my beauty blender, and I'm going to directly apply it to my face just like this, just dabbing it all over. I think that this just takes away the powdery look to your makeup if it's looking a little powdery or cakey, and it just makes everything melt into your skin much better. I don't like directly applying this to my face because I feel like it sprays like weird and it sets my makeup not right. So I found that this is a really helpful tip in setting your makeup. And for the lips, I'm going into MAC Whirl. It's just a really pretty dark brownie nude color, and it pairs perfectly with this look. And that completes this look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!